Mm, mm. Mm. I told y'all to get up off your tail.
Huh?
This says Section 8 vouchers are at stake and will impact many, meaning millions. And not only that, Trump just announced 40 and under, you will lose Section 8 in housing.
What?
Don't get mad at me, honey child. I'm just a messenger. Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by to see me today. Some of y'all gonna be happy and some of y'all ain't. I have 2 videos to play for you people. And I want you to pay close attention because I know a lot of you guys like to skip. And then you miss stuff, and then you put crazy stuff down in the comment section because you didn't watch the whole video, because you are just lazy. Not lazy, I forgot the word that they call it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You don't have no patience, all right? In life, you gotta have patience. You gotta have it. Now, I'm going to say this first. I do have an opinion about this, and I've said it over and over and over again. And a lot of people say some people can't help themselves. Everybody can't be rich. I'm not saying you have to be rich, people. I'm saying you have to prepare, okay? What do you think people did back in the day? They prepared. There was a depression going on, and they survived. There was no internet, okay? There were no food banks. Well, if there was, I didn't know about it. But people helped each other. And we don't do that anymore. We don't. But I'm going to play these videos, and it's going to piss some of y'all off. You're going to be very upset. But you only have one person to blame. And I want you to tell me who do you have to blame down in the comment section. Here we go. Listen, Section 8 vouchers are at stake. And many will be impacted by this.
Answers on a topic that could affect people using Section 8 housing programs. Voucher holders locally have received letters warning them of federal funding being halted and potential rent increases. Western Mass News reporter Matt Price did some digging for us on this, and he joins us live from downtown Springfield with more. Matt?
Yeah, Chris, this just adds to the drama of so much uncertainty many face across this country. That includes those who rely on these vouchers for safe and affordable housing. On March 13th, the Commonwealth's Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities sent a letter to Section 8 voucher holders, warning them that their rent in the next year or two might go up because of, quote, rising costs and insufficient federal funding. And the agency will have to stop its flexible tenant policies. Here's some of what is stated in this letter obtained by Western Mass News this afternoon. It says, quote, unfortunately, we can no longer afford to offer many of these special policies to our participants, and will have to return to using many of the same policies that most other housing authorities use. The letter goes on to say, we understand that will increase costs for many households, but we made these choices to ensure that our program can serve as many households as possible given limited federal funding. Now, for context, here are some of those policy changes. EOHLC will no longer pay for a household security deposit, no more earned income deduction in rent calculation, no utility allowances for hot water and cooking, no extra grace period for lower payment standard changes, and $480 of a full-time student's income will be counted. advocacy groups are keeping their eyes on these recent developments, including a rise for social justice here in Springfield. Housing and economic justice advocate and organizer Liz Busey says these changes will have a strongly negative impact and fears current Section 8 voucher holders are scared and are currently looking for other resources to survive.
30 days notice is not enough to try and supplement your income. And supplementing your income is going to get you in trouble because you can't, not legally anyways. And so people are going to be suffering left and right. They're already looking for food pantries. I've had 3 calls about whether we have any utility money to help people pay, and that's just this morning.
Busey says this move could also mean an increase in evictions and homelessness. She also tells us the number of people sleeping in cars at the moment is going up. Right now, a Rise for Social Justice is collecting tents in case people need to sleep outside, and they are collecting information about services in the area. EHOLC says the changes will go into effect on or after May 1st at the voucher holders' next regular or interim rent certification. We tried reaching out to EHOLC, EOHLC for comment on this matter, but we did not hear back. Stick with us both on air and online as we continue to follow the latest. Reporting live in downtown Springfield, Matt Price, Western Mass News.
They said people rely on the vouchers, y'all. They rely on them. People, let me tell you something. You shouldn't rely on anything. That's how you get in trouble, because you rely on something. You rely on people. You can't rely on everything, okay? Something in your mind should say, I need to do something before it gets bad. Now, the lady said they did not have a warning, and 30 days is not enough warning. 30 days. Lady, they've been warning you guys for months. Trump warned you guys what he was going to do, and you still decided to do nothing? Nothing? Not only that, yo, they don't watch the news. They don't see what's going on. So you just stay idle and think that everything is going to be okay? The taxpayers got to pay for you forever because you cannot be a productive citizen? Yes, I know some of y'all work. I know. But that's all you can make is minimum wage? You can't make $10, $20, $30, $40 an hour? You can't do a side hustle? You can't do hair? You can't crochet? You can't do anything to make extra money, cut grass? To make that extra money under the table? You can't. Because they know they'll get caught sooner or later, all right? Let me tell you something. I know they're going to blame Trump for this. They're going to blame the conservatives. They're going to blame Republicans. Have you seen them marching out on the streets? I mean, looked like it was millions of them, thousands and thousands and thousands. Let me tell y'all something about protesting, y'all. Listen to me good. You ain't gonna change a damn thing. Do you hear what I'm saying? Nothing. You just out there exercising, raising your blood pressure up. That's all you doing, okay? Because ain't nothing's gonna change. You wasting your time. Let's move right along here. I feel bad for some people because, like I said, they don't want to get up off their tail and do better. Now, let me say this for the people, again, with selective hearing. I have to keep saying it over and over and over. I am not talking about the handicapped people. The disabled people. I'm not talking about them. They need those services. They do. Too many of y'all asses are sitting up on the system. That's why they can't get it. Because some of y'all refuse to budge. That's what it is. Y'all know I ain't lying. You know I'm not. Here we go right here. This dude here says Trump just announced 40 and under, you will lose Section 8 and housing. You gonna lose it because you sat on your lazy ass and didn't want to do anything to improve your life, to help your family, to live a good life. You didn't want to do it because you pity yourself. Listen to what he has to say.
Trump just announced that everybody who's 40 and under, he about to strip away their Section 8. If you're not on disability, if you're not a veteran, somebody who's been hurt in the service, some of that nature, if you don't have a problem like a mental disability or something like that, he taking you out. This is just what I heard, y'all. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to know what y'all thoughts are on it, because there's some people out who actually need it. I make jokes about this all the time, but for him to say, you know, that if you 40 and under, he gonna snatch away your Section 8 in your houses, I think that shit is preposterous, and I probably don't agree with it, man, to a certain extent, because it is a lot of people out here 40 and under that's going through it, man. You know, that's just was dealt a bad hand, no matter how hard they try, you know, and they just need a little push. I don't agree with people sitting on it for years, not by far. I don't agree with it, but I do want to know what y'all really think about it. If he's saying if you 40 and under, he's snatching you out Section 8, what does this mean for society? More robberies, more killings, more drug dealers, you know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Comment, like, share, repost, follow my YouTube channel, link in my bio.
Sandfay girl, don't laugh. Don't laugh. That's not funny, girl. That's not funny. People gonna need the help. Some people gonna need the help. He said some people were dealt a bad hand because of where they live at. Basically, they're in poverty. They were dealt a bad hand. So were a lot of other people that are wealthy right now, were dealt a bad hand. They were beaten as a child. They were ridiculed. They stayed in the slums where there were gangs and shootings and all kind of stuff. They were dealt a bad hand. But they knew that they didn't want to live like that. They knew they didn't want to live in poverty and crime. They got their ass out, okay? They didn't sit there. They didn't stay idle. They did something with their life. Even though they was dealt a bad hand. Let me tell you something, people who complaining and getting mad at me and other people. Your destiny is in your hands. No one else. I don't care if you're disabled, you in your right mind. Your destiny is still in your hands. Just because you disabled don't mean you have to be idle and do nothing. I know some wealthy disabled people, okay? Handicapped, can barely move, got money. They were inspired. I'm not going to let this damn chair get me down. I'm not going to let it get me down. But some of y'all just sit there and do nothing and want people to pity you. I can't pity people, especially if they're able-bodied people, because there's some way, somehow, that you can make money to get your ass up out the gutter. There's some way. Now, I know everybody can't be rich, like I said, but you can make your life better so you can survive and you don't have to be begging. That's what I'm saying. And relying on the government. And then be scared every month because you just might lose your benefits. Let me see if this is true what this guy said. People under 40. There are proposals to cut funding for the Housing Choice Vouchers program, Section 8, that could potentially lead to fewer households receiving rental assistance, including those 40 and under. So, sir, I don't think it's just a rumor. I really don't. Proposed cuts. Here's the breakdown. Some budget proposals, like the ones from House Republicans, includes cuts to HUD vital programs, including the Housing Choice Voucher Program, which could result in a significant number of households losing their rental assistance. Why did they say Republicans? So you trying to tell me no Democrat voted for this plan? None. None of them. They want to keep your votes. Democrats, they want you to continue to vote for them. Look what Trump is doing to y'all. Look what the Republicans are doing to y'all. They finna cut y'all off. The impact, a Senate bill, for example, could lead to 62,000 fewer households receiving rental assistance, while a House bill could result in almost 283,000 households losing their housing vouchers. 283,000. Affordable housing crisis. These cuts could exacerbate, I know I probably said that wrong, the affordable housing crisis, as even small cuts to a single year's budget could compound over time and leave more people vulnerable to homelessness. Current situation right now, y'all, only about 1 in 4 households currently eligible for the program receive rental assistance. 1 in 4 households receive rental assistance. 1 in 4. Let that go through your mind. 1 in 4. So that means out of 4 people, 1 of them is going to be on Section 8. Is that true? Why can't it be 1 in 50, 1 in 100, but it's 1 in 4? No wonder we ain't got no damn money in the United States. No wonder. 1 in 4 people sitting their ass on Section 8. 1 in 4. And the majority of them, y'all, are women and children. That's the problem right there. Okay? The majority, I can understand if you need Section 8 for temporary assistance. I can understand that. I can understand if you need food stamps. I can understand that to help you get on your feet, because maybe you lost your job. Maybe you're just having a hard time. You got laid off. Maybe you're part-time. Maybe you're going to school. Maybe something like that, I can understand. I'm not against food stamps and housing. I'm not against it. I'm against lazy-ass people who refuse to do better in life. I'm against lazy people who want to rob and steal from the taxpayer. That's what I'm against right there. I'm against that, all right? Everybody can't do better. I'm tired of y'all saying that. What do people do when they want something? They go out and get it, right? They want that new car, they go out and get it. They want that new house, they go out and get it. They want that fine-ass woman, they go out and get it. They go and get what they want. Well, why can't you go and get a better life for yourself? Why can't you do that? Why? Y'all, some of y'all gonna be in trouble. That's all I'm saying. You're gonna be in trouble. And you're gonna be homeless. And you're gonna be living in your cars. But I'm just gonna say this right here. I'm gonna say this about the Spanish people and the Asian people. Probably Indian people too. They take care of their own. They do. They don't leave them homeless. They don't leave them living on the streets. They don't leave them hungry. They help their family members. But you know what? People like us, we don't do that. Okay? Now, I don't know about white people. They probably do too. I have no idea. But I just know what needs to happen is y'all need to help your family members. You need to help them. Don't let them be homeless living on the streets, especially if they got kids. They living in shelters and stuff like that. God knows what goes on in those shelters. God knows. I'm tired of talking about that, y'all. Go down in that comment section. Tell me what you think. Okay. Are you scared? Are you on Section 8? Do you have fear? Do you? I don't think they should mess with the elderly people. They should not mess with those people. They shouldn't mess with them. They old. Some of them decrepit. You can't mess with the elderly. Don't do that, Trump. Don't mess with the old people. Don't mess with them. With all that being said, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And watch the next video coming up. Thank you.
Yeah.